Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of LoL Community.
A weekly show where we take your comments from LoL Weekly and discuss what you guys are really thinking. The first comment this week comes from haha hee hee ho ho 709.
It's actually pronounced Hi or 709.
Thank you. And he says, I've only played Dominion twice and lost both times because I main in mages and Dominion is not designed for mages. It only works with melee and tanks. I refuse to play any melee or tank characters because they're not my playstyle. Unless they make significant changes to Dominion that makes it fair for casters, I won't be playing it. What do you think about this?
Well, I main mages, as you may know, Tom. Mages are my number one character, and I just don't see Brand or Malzahar as playable characters. Oh my god, they're all very slow characters, very good single targets sort of characters, and they don't do very well at all.
But mages are quite good. I've seen Soraka played quite well in Dominion. She is
But
technically a mage.
they do have that global buff that debuff, in fact, that reduces all healing by 20%. But what you do see in Dominion is the rise of mages that don't actually function very well in Summoner's Rift. Mages like Kassadin, LeBlanc, maybe even Kog'Maw if you count Kog'Maw as a mage. I count him as a shredder. But LeBlanc and Kassadin, because they have a teleport,
It's just true.
the jump, they
Yeah.
become very viable.
Castin definitely is a viable character, but how do you think they really compare though? When you've got melee characters that can easily take a Phantom Dancer and sprint around
Oh
the map all
yeah,
day
if
long.
you're up against the Xinjiao and Udin, LeBlanc doesn't stand a chance in hell of surviving against those sort of characters because they can just charge at you and two hit you really because everyone sort of builds damage in Dominion mode. No one tends to build
Would you
obviously
say
magic
everyone builds
stuff.
damage and not just speed? I see a lot of people that just take any item that gives them any kind of speed,
Oh,
so
that is
Phantom
true. Yeah,
Dancers.
there's definitely speed underlying in all of Dominion, but you don't see people grabbing Randuin's Omen or maybe Force Nature because they give you speed, but I mean you don't see people with Guardian Angels really. People just tend to buy damage.
So kind of what we're saying is that Dominion is, because it's so quick, fast paced as well, like a good mage farms well at mid normally in Summoner's Rift. You
Yeah.
get into the game, you get some good items, you become quite powerful. Dominion, you don't do that, you don't farm. There's not really a farm section to it, you're just pushing all the time, trying to get around the map as fast as you can. So yeah, I guess in that respect, ha hi hi ha ha 709 is correct.
He is correct, and I'd say if
I
you want to try
can't
someone
believe how
slightly
well I
different,
said that, but yeah, sorry.
play LeBlanc. If you want to play a mage, try LeBlanc and Castin. They're your best mages. And if you maybe go on something a bit different like Cogmore, because he works with AP.
I saw I saw a Viger and he played quite well. And
Really, Vigars.
yeah, he was just one hit. Obviously, he'd take one person out in every team fight, and that would be
Yeah,
useful, and then capturing and stuff. But I just don't think mages really have a place as well. I completely agree with this comment. I would say.
but try LeBlanc definitely.
Yeah, thank you very much for your comment. Okay, today's second comment comes from a player or YouTuber or character or summoner called Montenigo. And he says, I like Dominion a lot, and I haven't experienced any problems with it myself, but I guess it's as fair as Summoner's Rift, meaning that a character still can get totally out of hand if he gets the ritual all the time. I think he means overpowered,
Yeah.
and doesn't die, so his gold income increases, but that's just a sign of either good player or a little bit of luck. Both of which shouldn't be governed, but overall I give Dominion 4 out of 5 stars, only 4 because I think it's a little bit too quick sometimes. You can lose in like 10 minutes. What do you think about that one?
Well, I've definitely won a game, and I think 9 minutes 30 before. It's quite easy to lock people out of games. I
So
will
do you
agree
not
with
think
that.
that's kind of against the sort of the play style of this game? Like we're not playing a game of FIFA and expecting it to be over in 10 minutes. We're playing a game where normally, obviously, everyone you farm for a while. It's quite tight towards the beginning of the game, but Dominion it just throws it all open. So is that good or bad?
Well, I well there are problems with Dominion in the fact that bruisers are the number one in this, and they seem to be the number one in Summer's Rift as well. Bruisers, like Lee
Bruiser's a
Sin,
beast, yeah.
they are because their damage ratios are so good that you can just build tanky really and get away with it. And it's the other way around in a Dominion because you can just build a tank offensively and you survive anything. So it's definitely a bruiser's game, and the good thing is though, if you die. And this sort of counters the whole people can get overpowered thing. You still gain XP and you still gain a lot of gold even though you're dead.
Yeah,
So,
but like I've seen people play Gangplank and you can just get on top of the game so quickly and you can be doing so much damage towards the end of the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's another one
And
of the.
within like characters like that normally in Summoner's Rift it would take about 20, 25, 30 minutes to get a solid build up with where they start doing crazy amounts of damage. in Dominion you can get there in 10, 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, you can get an Infinity Edge in 6 minutes, 7 minutes, definitely.
So yeah, in that it's a bit of an odd one. But Dominion, oh, it's tough. I
It's
don't.
not really as fair as Summer's Rift. Sort of disagree with that. Summer's Rift is balanced to a degree,
Summoner's Rift is quite balanced, yeah.
but there are definitely 4 or 5 champions in here. If you have all 5 of those champions, you've won the game. Champions like Rammus, Gangplank.
Yeah, there's just those sort of standalone characters that can just win it for
Win
you
a game, yeah,
completely.
definitely.
Like they can get around the map quite quickly. They do a lot of damage very quickly as well, even at low levels. So you find it really tough when you get against them. I'm not sure if I'd give Dominion 4 out of 5 stars. I'd probably give it maybe a 2.5 to 3.
Really, that bad? 5 out of 10.
Yeah, just it. I don't know.
I
It's
give it
fun,
7 out of
but
10. I give it 7.
it really it really cuts out a lot of the characters they have in the game. Do you
It's
not?
the opposite. It's the opposite. You can play any character in Dominion because there's no metagame as of yet. There is no
But
metagame.
you
So you can...
still know it. Like we just said with the last comment, mages don't really have a place. That cuts out at least
Okay, that is
15
true.
champions.
But you can play characters that you wouldn't normally play, like obviously Caston or LeBlanc. You don't get to play those in Summer's Rift because of the bloody metagame.
I don't
But
think
now,
15 mages actually. But anyway,
you can play characters that you wouldn't normally play in Summer's Rift, which is why I like Dominion. It's a break from the metagame, which is why I give it 7 out of 10 or 3.5 stars out of 5.
fair enough, fair enough. And our final comment for today comes from a summoner, YouTuber, whatever he might be, called Andrew Krieger. And he says, I think Dominion is pretty awesome, but I think they should cap movement speed in Dominion. I mean, I love rolling around with Rammus at 1100 speed, but really, is that what they want? Is that what they want? Do they want people like Yi, Rammus, all these crazy runners, just running from end to end, capturing points, not actually doing any PvP essentially?
Well, I'll tell you what I did.
PvE.
I played a game as Eve, and I took Revive and Ghost, and I was essentially stacking Phantom Dancers, and obviously the one that helps you capture bases. And what I did was, because she's got an ultimate that gives a bonus speed, if you use Revive, if you revive Ghost, whatever, run out of base, you can run at 1400 speed, pretty much straight out of base. You can get across the map in about 3 seconds.
This is just unreal.
But the thing is, it's so easy to counter, because me as Eve, I had no damage output whatsoever. All I had was speed. All you have to do to defend against that is have one person at each spot. So one person at bottom right, one person at top right, and everyone else just basically attacking the windmill at top.
But you're sort of describing a very extreme case. What about those people that don't necessarily go to 1400 or even 1100, but they can quite comfortably get to sort of around the 500 mark? Like
Well,
people
this is-
like Yi Rammus, and they can still build the damage they need as well. Surely that's a little bit unfair.
There is actually a movement speed diminishing returns. When you get above, I think, like 450 movement speed, any additional movement speed you get is cut in half. So there is actually diminishing returns to movement speed. So you do notice, not if you stack movement speed, you're getting less and less per piece of gold. So your gold to movement speed ratio is decreasing. So I do agree that obviously Yi is naturally a fast character, and he works well off that sort of stuff. But obviously Eve doesn't work usually.
I've seen Yi played really well, and I've seen Eve play really well. Just for characters like that, they can just get around the map so easily.
Movement speed is king.
Movement speed does tend to win on this sort of map. Like
Yeah.
in Summoner's Rift, it's obviously not half as important, but in Dominion, if you can just get around a lot, then yeah, you're pretty much set.
I definitely. You can get to top before anyone else even thinks about it. So you can't really play characters, and this is controversial. You can't really play characters in Dominion that don't have movement speed increases of some sort, because you will be beaten by characters of movement speed.
Well, it's true. This is why Gangplank is such a solid character as well, giving a movement speed buff to everyone in the team.
And a global ulti.
And the global ulti, that makes him a really good character. Other good characters in Dominion, what would you say?
Well, obviously Rammus, Yi, they're really good. Teemo, he's quite good.
I would say Teemo, yeah, he's okay.
Mushrooms, you can put mushrooms
Any
on
bruiser, like we said, like Jarvan, Udyr's obviously got a speed buff. Jarvan can jump
Xin Zhao.
around. Xin Zhao can jump to minions. Lee Sin, he can move around
Kelly.
maps quite really well.
Kelly's really dangerous.
Kelly can jump around all over the place. It's pretty crazy. Poppy's quite good.
Oh yeah, but I
Poppy's
haven't lost the game.
absolute solid beast in Dominion mode. It's crazy. There's so many characters, and
And
I
they all
wouldn't
have
necessarily say
sort of
they all kind of have jumps. If you look at characters that don't have jumps, probably most of the mages like Malzahar doesn't, Veigar doesn't, Anivia doesn't, Bran doesn't. it's quite hard to sort of see where they do fit in. So coming back to our first comment, really, mages don't really have that speed move increase, so they really are lacking in that. And most mages have slower natural speed as well, so it's definitely a tough one that they might need to look at.
Hmm.
But who knows? Like, I don't think they would change it. I think they want it to be like that, don't they?
Yeah,
I
they
think
want
purposely be made to be the complete opposite of Summoner's Rift. Summoner's Rift is a little bit slow. Is slow paced if you think about it.
Yeah.
Not much happens for the first 20-25 minutes. If you were playing Dominion, you would have finished the game. So
By that point, yeah.
I think that's how they've set out to sort of market it as well, make it completely different and get more people playing. So good for them.
Hmm. So overall, how would you say Dominion is? What would you say? Well, is
So
it worth playing?
it's worth having a few games, but I prefer Summoner's Rift, to be
Do you
honest.
think it's gonna be lost if
I
you
don't
look
think
like
it's
6 months from
lost.
now? 6 months from now, do you think people will still be playing it?
Ah, of course they'll still be playing it. It's a fun way to play a quick game of LoL. It's a bit different as well, so I'm sure it will stay being played for a long time.
Who's that champion?
It's Fiddlesticks.
Yep, and the first person to get it right was Mr. VivaClank.
Congratulations, very good job.
Now, the software we use to record Who's That Champion is called Autolow, and that's broken at the moment. It was actually,
yeah.
it was actually Fiddlesticks' mouth. We can't really zoom out because we don't have the software at the moment. And because of that, we can't give another one this week. So
Until it's fixed, we can't actually we can't do anything. But we would love to hear your comments on this chatter. Obviously, any comment you put could be featured next week. So please leave
should
a
we make
comment.
more of these? You
Yeah.
know, should we make more of these? Well, thank you for watching the first episode of LoL Community.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for watching, and we
stay
will
tuned.
see you soon.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Au revoir.
Fucking, I've got my finger stuck in something. Oh, there we go.
Is it your asshole?
It's a keyring. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.